It is ridiculous. I gotta tell you, doing this work, it's so weird to me. I've been doing it for years. It's still weird. I don't really have a choice. You get these inclinations, and there you go. But I believe less and less about it, but I will tell you, I know it helps. So just take it for what it's worth. So I'm just going to read this over again. I saw you're offering these readings. I don't believe in such stuff, but I'd really like to see how it turns out. Question, is it going to work out with her? So this is the kind of question I get a lot, actually, especially from guys. Believe it or not, guys are the ones who are asking if it's going to work out with her. Women tend to ask, am I going to connect with someone? This is a big question. Let me look a little further here, because I don't want to take it for granted. I had like an initial impulse, but so what I'm doing right now, I'll describe it to you a little bit. I'm just putting down some cards, and what that does is that helps focus my mind to get it out of the way, so that I can let my gut kind of do its thing. We could have a big conversation about gut intuition. We'll do that some other time. I'm writing a course, actually. What other people would say, I'm putting my mind aside to let the messages come through. So the first thing I'm seeing right away is a little bit of distance, mental distance, and emotional distance between you and her, that you're really feeling needs to be closed. And it really feels one-sided too. Like you're feeling like she's not as excited about you as you are about her. But significantly, I'm getting this notion of this being a really good match, and of it actually going quite fast. This is the thing I don't think you're aware of, but intuitively, you might be aware of this intellectually, but your instincts want this to move even faster than it has, but it's important that you acknowledge how fast it's already been moving. That's definitely here. This notion that things are moving along. I do see it working out well. That's there and very clear, very clear. Here, look how happy these people are. That's there's a but, and it comes on the fact that your worry about it working out well will result in your not being genuine. Okay. That's not the only thing, actually. Your concern about how well the relationship is going is not the only determining factor. There's also a little bit of ignorance over your own behavior, like a little bit of unawareness of how you act and what you say reflexively, like your gut instinct reflexive reaction that has nothing at all to do with what you really think, and it's just like a bunch of processes you built to socialize. Scoffing and some sort of cynical perspectives on things that you just gut reaction come out with when you see something beautiful and sweet. And that drives a wedge. So I see it working out and then these problems. There's that cynical edge that comes in. I don't know if that's connected to a sense of like having to prove your masculinity. I don't think it is. I think it's just routines, social routines. We all develop them automatically and unconsciously, but yours in particular will start to like feel to her like you're not going to appreciate what's beautiful about her on the inside. And she's looking forward at, well, is this someone who will like me when I'm ugly? If you indicate that you're not the kind of guy who would like her if she likes things you don't like, then that's a problem. So there was that, and there was this notion of inauthenticity. So, okay, being authentic, being real, as they say, is a skill, and it's something that doesn't come natural to anyone in modern society, especially people who talk about being real. Honestly, people are so fake all the time, especially people who say, oh, that person's really fake, that those people are fake. There's just this sort of like I don't know, like we have customs that have to do with being social, sort of agreed upon beliefs. You're allowed to think this way, you're allowed to have these beliefs, you're allowed to do these things, and anything outside of that box is you're invalid. You're a victim of that thinking. There's definitely this notion that it's difficult for you to express any thought or emotion that you think others would not approve of. And that's not just by what you said in here. In private, in your quiet moments with the person you love and trust, you can't demonstrate that trust. She will feel very much like you can't trust her because you can't be vulnerable with her. Here's the thing. So that you might have heard that expression, being vulnerable. That means saying something that you're worried about being judged on, but saying it anyway. She needs that from you. And this doesn't work unless you can find a way to do that. So that's critical. And that's a process, and it takes work, it takes time, but if you start today, you can make it. Women love a vulnerable guy, a guy who's willing to just open up his heart and say exactly what he means and what he feels. Because a guy who's willing to do that is a hell of a lot more manly than some wimp who's worried about what other people think of him. All right, so take that for what it's worth. Maybe I'm just pulling out stuff from my life experience. Maybe that's all that is. Maybe I'm seeing things from the great beyond. Doesn't matter. But I think, man, I really feel like this was an important message for you. All right, see you.